Hello, it's Ruby, and today I'm going to be doing a slightly different kind of video, one that I haven't done before. Well, actually that's a lie. It literally is a video that I've done before. Basically, today I'm going to be answering questions from my very first Q&A which I did, which was back in, I think, September 2015. This video is still on YouTube, very embarrassingly. The lighting is terrible. I filmed it at like 7 o'clock in September, so it was dark. It's one of my least favourite videos, actually, funnily enough, that I've filmed. But basically, I thought it'd be quite fun to look back on my very first Q&A and the questions that I was asked and answer them now and see if there's a difference in how I answer. This video got 56,000 views, which is actually quite a lot, seeing as I think I only had like 200 or 300 subscribers.
Hello, it's Ruby, and today I will be doing a Q&A, and this is the first one that I've ever done.
First of all, my fringe is so uneven. I always did cut my fringe myself when I had one, and here though it's like really overgrown and it's really long in the middle.
So I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm not going to say who asked the questions, just because I'm not sure if everyone will want me saying their YouTube name.
This is so embarrassing. Which subjects are you doing for GCSE and which are your favourites?
Well, we've got to do all three of the sciences, but I'm doing triple science. And then I'm doing English, maths. I'm also doing additional mathematics. I'm doing statistics. I'm doing Spanish. And then my three choices are RS, geography and history.
My answer is going to be the same because I filmed this when I was in year 11 and doing my GCSEs. But my favourite, kind of at the end of year 11, my favourite was kind of geography, Spanish, English and RS.
And I love every single one of my subjects. There's not a particular subject that I don't actually like, but my favourite subject of all is Spanish, but I also love English and geography.
And not RS. I thought I was going to say RS. I loved RS, and that's a subject I'm now pretty much doing at university. What are you thinking of studying at A-level, and what university would you like to go to?
Thinking of studying RS, Spanish, English and maths at A-level.
So quite similar, I guess. I ended up doing English, RS, Spanish and chemistry instead of maths. And that was kind of a tie. Like, I originally chose maths and then I decided to do chemistry because I just enjoy chemistry more.
And I would love to do philosophy at university, and my dream university would be Oxford.
And at university, obviously, I'm now at Exeter and I'm doing philosophy and theology. Yeah, when I was in year 11, I went through a phase of saying I wanted to, so I said up until year 11 I wanted to study English, and then for a year in year 11 I just changed my mind and said I wanted to study philosophy, and then I went back to English, and then last minute I changed to philosophy and theology. Okay, why do you make videos? Number one, I really love actually like the process of making a video, and before I started YouTube I was always making these little home videos with friends. Literally every single time a friend would come over, we'd end up making a short film. I mean, that is a huge difference when I make a YouTube video. But I still really enjoy the process, and I enjoy filming and I enjoy editing. But more than anything, I think the important thing with making YouTube videos, and the reason that I have continued to make them, is because there's so much value and fulfillment in making content which is, I hope, meaningful, which hopefully helps people. And when I receive messages from people saying, your video helped me with X or Y, and kind of that feeling of just fulfillment and pride in those who message me, yeah, that's kind of why I continue to make videos. But let's see what younger me said. I haven't watched this video for years, so I don't know.
I guess, well, the first thing that made me want to make a video was, one of my first videos was how to be like Hermione Granger, and I'd been looking all over YouTube for this video but I couldn't find it, so I decided to just make my own. And then once I made that and I got some really nice responses, I decided to just continue making videos. And I've always loved making movies anyway, so it's quite a nice way for me to actually share my work.
How old were you when you first read Harry Potter? That is not going to change. I was 9 and I read Harry Potter in the summer between year 4 and year 5.
I read them at the end of year 4, the summer between year 4 and year 5, so I was 9. I read them quite late because I used to actually be really scared of Harry Potter.
How old are you? I am 19.
I've also been asked by quite a few people how old I am, and I am actually 15.
Oh, 15! Is it hard to be like Hermione Granger because of social media? I feel like this question is kind of outdated because I liked Hermione Granger a lot when I was 15, when I was 14, 15, and I still like Hermione Granger as a character, but definitely not to the same degree. When I first started my channel, like lots of people would say that I was very similar to Hermione Granger, and I still do get so many comments from people saying that I am like her. On popular request, I made videos about like being like Hermione Granger, and if you've been following me recently, then you'll know that I kind of like 3 or 4 years ago I decided to stop making these videos, and that was because I just didn't really enjoy making them anymore, which makes sense because we grow older and we have different interests.
Yes, I do sometimes feel that it's more difficult to be like her than if I were living 100 years ago, simply because at Hogwarts, obviously, she doesn't have access to computers, television. Personally, I don't spend hours and hours on social media, but it does make it more difficult. It would be easier if there wasn't a computer sitting there getting ready to distract you, because I'd much rather just have the opportunity to be reading. Sometimes it's distracting. I wouldn't say it's made too much of a difference though.
Yeah, so this question is harder to answer now, but I guess kind of thinking about the kind of lifestyle that I live as Ruby Granger is the Granger lifestyle. I guess you could compare that to Hermione Granger. The Granger lifestyle is basically being productive and valuing old-fashioned things that are wholesome, like spending time with family and close friends, and I think that that definitely can be inhibited by social media, simply because social media is always there, it's a constant distraction, but I don't think it has to inhibit you from being the person you want to be and appreciating and enjoying the simple things in life. So it can be hard, but I don't think it's impossible. I've changed that question because it's no longer applicable. Are you still a Hermione Granger fan? Yeah, I just answered this. Yeah, I do still like Hermione Granger. It's just that I like her in a different way to that which I did when I was a lot younger. She has a very special place in my heart simply because I did look up to her a lot when I was a kid, but I wouldn't call myself a fan of her.
Absolutely 100%. I don't think I'll ever stop being a Hermione Granger fan.
Do you think people will think you're childish if you dress like Hermione Granger? No, I actually do remember how I answered this, and I don't think my answer has really changed that much.
I don't think necessarily that people would think you're childish for dressing like her if you're not in the uniform.
Definitely there's something childish about maybe wearing the Hermione Granger costume, like wearing your Hogwarts uniform out and about.
But if I'm wearing something like this, I mean, I'm wearing a Nordic jumper at the moment, and Hermione obviously wears these a lot in the first 2 films. I wouldn't say that I felt childish wearing something like this.
I think, you know, like the way that Hermione dresses, she wears jeans, she wears cardigans, like things that anyone can wear realistically. So I don't think there's something childish about kind of dressing like Hermione Granger, because she doesn't dress in a childish way.
And also, you don't have to worry about what people think about.
What is your favourite food? My favourite food is the Free From Number 12 pesto, I think, by Sacra. I also love pasta.
Pasta, probably. Pasta? Is it pasta?
And sag aloo. I love sag aloo.
I also like poppadoms.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't actually know. It's really bad. I probably should know by now. I'd love
to be a published
philosophical writer. I'd love to be an author. I'd love to be an author. It'd be absolutely incredible.
My dream is to be a published writer. Like, I'd love to be an author. But equally, that's a very hard profession to go into. So I would like to maybe go into book publishing. That's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. But equally, I'm really interested in maybe doing something humanitarian.
I might want to do something to protect rainforests, help save the sharks, something to help the environment. I think that's quite important.
Quite important. And on the side of whatever I do want to kind of have side hustles, and I would love to kind of continue to own my own business when I'm older. What's your favourite season?
My favourite seasons are autumn and winter. So I absolutely just love the time that we're in at the moment. They're both really cosy. I like just sitting inside with a book with a roaring fire. I think it's really lovely and cosy.
My favourite season is definitely autumn. I love autumn. But the funny thing is that whenever a season comes around, I convince myself that that's my favourite season. So now that it's summer, I'm like, oh, I love summer. Summer's my favourite season. And then when it's spring, I'm like, I love spring. And in winter, I'm thinking, I love winter. So it definitely changes. And I think it's quite a good mindset to have because it means I enjoy every season. But I enjoy autumn more than anything, and if it's raining, I always pretend that it's autumn. Like I put on pumpkin candles and I put on music that reminds me of autumn because I just love autumn. What are your hobbies?
Reading, movie making, studying.
I really love reading, of course. I love writing, like creative writing. Even though I don't really do it anymore, I am a big fan of gymnastics and I do enjoy it more than trampolining. I love organising and planning. I don't know if this counts as a hobby, but one thing that if I can choose to do this in my free time, I really enjoy seeing family friends and having really wholesome family activities and things. What's your favourite colour? So boring. My favourite colour is actually white, but that kind of almond milk white, like slightly off, slightly creamy white. Oh, and I also love the colour light green actually.
My favourite colour is either light green, light blue, or dark purple, or blood red.
What's your favourite Hermione Granger quotes?
Now, if you two don't mind, I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed. Or worse, expelled.
I haven't done a Hermione Granger impression for such a long time, but I'm gonna give this one a shot. It's not really a quote, but my favourite scene with Hermione is when her and Harry are sitting down on the steps and they've just seen Lavender and Ron kiss and Hermione's really upset and she says, Harry, what's it like when you see Ron with Ginny? I've seen the way you look at her. You're my best friend. Just because it's really sad and it's a really lovely scene. And I also love in the first film when she says, what me? Books and cleverness. There are more important things. Friendship and bravery. I like that one. I think it's very uplifting. How can we be friends? This is cute. That's quite difficult. You can always get in contact with me on Instagram, I suppose.
On my social media, so I have Instagram and I'm sorry I don't actually go on my Instagram too much, so I'm sorry if you send me a message and then I don't reply, but my Instagram is _rubygranger.
And I consider all of you friends. I feel like we're in this community together and you guys support me so much. I am actually making like a much bigger effort to respond to DMs on Instagram and respond to comments as well, because over exam season I was just so busy and I just couldn't really genuinely find the time to reply to comments and DMs, but I'm really making an effort to do that over the summer because I do really appreciate all of these kind messages. And there we go, there is my Q&A. I hope you found this video interesting. I thought it might be quite an interesting idea to do because I've got loads of requests to do a Q&A and this is a slightly unique turn on it. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed and I hope that you have a productive week.